All right, Cap. So as far as the update this morning, what do we have?
Well, firefighters and fire investigators are on scene trying to determine the cause of the late night fire at the 200 block of Boyce Road. Again, when firefighters arrived on scene last night, they had heavy volumes of fire coming from the structure, and due to the instability of the structure and partial collapse, firefighters were not able to get inside to extinguish the fire. We used large volumes of water from area devices to extinguish the fire. So this morning we are here to determine the cause, and we're going to need to bring in heavy equipment. Due to the instability of the structure, it's not safe for investigators to get inside. So we're waiting on heavy equipment from Charlotte DOT, and we're going to render the building safe before fire investigators go inside and determine the cause.
As far as damages, what are we looking at?
Right now, we're estimated fire damages is around 2.5 million, approximately. That could change once we get inside.
Go ahead, Mayor.
And tell us a little bit about, you mentioned a task force. What agencies are involved in that? You mentioned ATF. Tell us a little bit about that task force.
So right now, we have the Charlotte Investigation Task Force on scene. That includes Charlotte Mecklenburg Police arson detectives, and also a division from ATF. We also are using drone technology, and we have a K9 on scene as well.
You mentioned structural integrity, making it safe. What's the process look like in terms of you guys knocking down some walls, or what are you guys going to do?
Again, it's just not safe for anybody to be inside, so we'll have to bring in that heavy equipment, and that's routine on large fires like this with heavy fire damage. So we're going to bring that heavy equipment in and knock down some of the walls so they can get inside and do their jobs.
And I know, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, you're saying bring in heavy equipment. What does that mean? What does that look like as far as being inside a building and looking around?
Well, the heavy equipment, again, is just to knock walls down to render it safe. Once they get inside, is the floor stable? That's other things we need to consider when we're inside. So it's a slow process going inside, but we want to make sure the firefighters and the investigators are safe.
And of course, everyone's really curious about the cost. Do you have any timeline you might be able to give people? Like how long does something like this generally take? If you can maybe give an idea of what all goes into this.
We're going to be here a while. Every fire is different, so I can't really answer that question, but we're going to get inside and see if we can narrow down our area or origin the best we can.
Some people were just saying in passing they heard like maybe lightning struck or something like that. Have you heard anything like that it was weather related?
That's part of the investigation. We'll look at the weather in the area at that time frame when the fire started. We'll also speak with the neighbors to see what they heard, and also there's a lot of cameras in the community, so we're going to look at some of those cameras and see if we can put this puzzle back together.
Were you able to get that Ring doorbell camera video from the guy across the street yet?
Again, investigators were knocking on doors. I think there's several Ring cameras that we're looking at, and along with the security footage from the security footage from the school itself. They're here, and they have their IT people trying to gather that information for us. So again, it's going to be a slow process, but we're trying to gather all the material and all the information we can to make sure we can come up with a good conclusion on what happened today.
Was it contained to this building right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We are looking at the surrounding buildings to see what damage is, but again, insurance companies would make that call.
And then my last one for you. Can you just speak about how quickly Charlotte Fire responded, got this fire in control? I mean, 90 minutes to contain it to one building, that's impressive. So can you speak to your efforts?
When firefighters arrived on scene, again, we had large volumes of fire, so there was no need for firefighters to go inside. We just used our equipment, our resources, our manpower, made sure we had a good patent water supply, and we was able to place trucks in strategic areas to keep the fire from spreading to adjacent buildings. And then at the same time, we wanted to make sure the firefighters are safe.
Fair to say they did a good job?
They did an excellent job.
And a couple of neighbors had mentioned, people who live really close, talking about hearing this loud, almost explosion-like sound. Would an investigation be able to explain to neighbors what that sound was? Would an investigation be able to explain that?
Yeah. Again, that is part of the investigations. We're going to talk to those individuals, and then we have to see again what's inside the building that could have caused an explosion. And then, you know, there was a weather front that came through. We need to look at that as well. So we're going to put all that together and try to come up with a conclusion. All right. Any other questions? Y'all good? All right.
Thank you, Cap.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Bye bye.
Thank you.